Hello there and welcome to all my music and Christian rock fans out there. Tim Risto, host of the Creative Christians podcast, here with you once again. A classic album of Christian music. It's Deliverance's Weapons of Our Warfare. Classic album. Deliverance is a thrash metal or thrash rock band, however you want to describe them. They've kind of varied their style a lot over the years. But they started out with a strong thrash vibe to them, particularly in their demo, which was Greetings from Death, Greetings of Death. I know there was a typo of some sort on that originally. But anyway, that was their first one. Then they had Deliverance self-titled, and then they came out with Weapons of Our Warfare. This is kind of the album that they've chased their entire career, really their true second album. And they've chased it their whole career. You know, you may be familiar with how, like, the Star Trek movie, Star Trek II was the movie that came out. The Wrath of Khan became very popular. It's a classic science fiction, classic Star Trek movie. And the Star Trek movies have chased the popularity of that film ever since. That's kind of how I would describe Deliverance's Weapons of Our Warfare, and that they've always kind of chased this success. Not that they've worried so much about it. They've gone on and done their own thing, and what's his name? Jimmie P. Brown is, I think, the main founder, and he's the vocalist and rhythm and lead guitar on this particular album. But he's carried on. He's been one of the few that's of the originals. He and George Ochoa for a while were the only ones really, the original still with the band over its history. I think Jimmie now is really the only one left as of their last album, which was The Subversive Kind, which was 2019, something like that. Anyway, this album is very, very good. Kind of like One Bad Pig, you have to be a fan of this particular genre of music, of thrash. Kind of like One Bad Pig, I was not until this album. This pulled me into Deliverance, and it's again rapid fire drums and music, and the lyrics that are just coming so fast you can barely understand them. It's a unique style of music, and normally I don't listen to thrash, but Deliverance and this album won me over, and it started to pull me into the rest of their discography. All right, sorry, I had to pause for a second because the sun got too bright coming in my window here. It was starting to blast me out. Anyway, this is a great album. Some wonderful tracks on here. It starts with the reading of the Weapons of Our Warfare verse, which I forgot the citation of that verse from the Bible, but it starts with a really cool voiceover and sound effect and musical intro. Supplication track 1, really cool lead into an album. Sets the tone really well, kind of an almost medieval vibe to this album, as you can tell with the album art, which of course has to do with spiritual warfare, Weapons of Our Warfare. We fight not against flesh and blood, but against the spiritual forces, of the dark side of the devil. So it really sets a cool tone. Supplication leads into This Present Darkness, very, very true to thrash music tune, and then Weapons of Our Warfare, which is probably a little bit more melodic, something you can most people who are not thrash fans could get into that. Really good stuff on this album, just a great album. This particular edition that I've got, this vinyl edition, is a limited edition. It's in this wonderful yellow vinyl. Very, very quality release. Really nice. That yellow vinyl, of course, ties in with the awesome yellow color on the Deliverance logo, which is one of the coolest logos. Again, adds to the vibe of the whole medieval kind of theme going on there. But this yellow edition I got several years ago. I think they're starting to sell through more of them, so of course the price starts to climb. As they reduce the number of copies they have left, it becomes more of a collectible, and they start raising the price. There's also an insert in there with all these cool photos, lyrics on the other side for those of us who need to follow along. It's helpful. I've used Christian music a lot as a way to help build my faith, especially with the bands, the artists, the lyricists, the writers that have drawn upon biblical themes, solid biblical themes, verses, a solid foundation for biblical theology, and use that in music. It's very faith building for me. It's very uplifting in my faith. It challenges me, keeps me focused on the Bible and things that are straight from the Bible. There's also a long box that Girder put out. Remember, many of us from the 80s and perhaps a little bit beyond remember CD days where CDs came in these long boxes. CDs here at the bottom, but they put it in these long boxes so that they could shelve these in the same places as the vinyl, because all these record stores had the storage bins for vinyl, and when things went to CD, they didn't want to have to buy all sorts of new storage bins right away. So manufacturers made it so that they could just take these CDs, long boxes, and put them in the vinyl storage bins in their stores, record stores. So Girder put out a couple of these. Deliverance was one of them with Weapons of Our Warfare, and I think they did Snakes in the Playground by Bride. I've got that one as well. Kind of an experiment to see if people wanted to throw back to the long boxes, and I got these on sale. They were really good. And those included the Deliverance Weapons of Our Warfare gold disc editions in the box, which are nice specialized editions of select albums that they put out on the gold discs, gold CD discs, better quality media basically. And they included nice booklets with some great photos. I believe all these were put out by Scott Waters with No Life Till Metal, who puts together most of the print pieces for Girder and does really, really good work, I have to say. He's a wonderful graphics guy and does a great many Christian reissues, CDs, vinyl, what have you. This also includes another one of these collectible cards, Deliverance. I think this might have been exclusive to this long box release, if I remember correctly. Of course, is the original Bombworks CD release, a little different from the gold disc edition released by Girder. Most recently, I was able to pick up this beautiful picture disc edition of Weapons of Our Warfare, which is really cool. The album art on the front and their back album art matches that of the vinyl release. Very, very cool edition. And this is a quality release. It feels pretty heavy duty. It doesn't say that it's 180 gram vinyl. I would assume it is, but not necessarily. It doesn't say so, but it feels sturdy. The printing of the album art, the artwork on here, is really pretty good quality. The sleeve itself, not so great. It's already tearing. I've only had it for a few days. It's already kind of tearing, so not a high quality sleeve. May have to see if I can get a better quality one and get the hype sticker off and put it on something else. But as a whole, this sounds really good, looks really good, and if you're interested in these picture discs, they have two of these out, one for Weapons of Our Warfare, and they also did the Deliverance self-titled album, which is a simpler picture disc, just black with the Deliverance logo across the top and the chain. It was a more minimalist kind of album art for that, but they did a picture disc of that. I may pick that up if I find a good sale later on. But that is Deliverance, Weapons of Our Warfare. Again, if you like thrash metal, even if you're a little on the fence about it, give that album a try. It's a classic of Christian rock, and it's known beyond Christian music circles. They made quite a name for themselves. Deliverance has a great catalog of albums, too. Jimmie P. Brown kind of led them into more Queensryche and David Bowie-ish territory later on. They came back around at the end to more thrash metal and different types of maybe industrial metal, even a little bit. I'm not sure how you describe it all, but they went through a lot of different vibes. They're a little bit harder to classify the further along they went in their career. Learn is a great album by them. River Disturbance I like a lot. Stay of Execution, I think, was their third one. I think that followed Weapons of Our Warfare, another great, great album. Someday I'll go do a video all about the Deliverance discography because they've got some great, great stuff. Anyway, check it out. Weapons of Our Warfare. Good stuff.